Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you for joining us here today. If North Korea talks are not fruitful, what is Donald Trump's plan? The restaurant industry ran an interesting poll, a private poll, on the minimum wage. What were the results? Well, what do you think? James Comey sees himself as a victim of Trump, but he refuses, unfortunately, to see the real victims in the situation. So I turned that down a little bit. Anyway, we got a great show for you today. Thank you so much for being with us. My name is Spencer Walsh, and let's get it started. Alright, yeah, so anyway, hope you enjoyed the show we did yesterday about Elon Musk and all that stuff like that. And here as we come to you today from this East Coast that is quite rainy, or at least in New York here. Anyway, yeah, so that is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have you here with us today. So, yeah. And so, yeah, there's a very interesting discussion going on right now in the Washington area. So, if President Trump declared on Wednesday he would scrap a planned summit with North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, or even walk out on the session while it was underway if his diplomatic overture was not heading toward success. So, which I think is, that just shows you Trump really, he has this thing figured out, doesn't he? So, yeah, Trump continued to express optimism, verging on eagerness about sitting down with the North's reclusive leader. But as the momentum for a meeting grows in Washington and East Asia, the president acknowledged that it was a perilous undertaking that could end still in failure. If I think it's a meeting that's going to, it's not going to be fruitful, we are not going to go, Trump said at a news conference at his Mar-a-Lago estate, standing alongside Prime Minister Shinzo Abe of Japan. If the meeting, when I'm there, is not fruitful, I will respectfully leave the meeting, which is a little bit strange because, like, if you went to all that trouble organizing the meeting, like, I feel like you would want to see it through to the very end. Like, he probably wasn't that influential. I gotta be honest, he probably wasn't that influential in organizing the meeting. So probably a lot of other people who helped in a big way. But, like, it's a big accomplishment for the Trump White House. I mean, if he's able to get like denuclearized North Korea, like that's something, and that's actually something that pretty much that's something a lot of people can get behind. Like, not Republicans go, because apparently they have a strong history of being against Barack Obama meeting with leaders like Kim Jong-un. Are they gonna be non-hypocritical this time? I don't know. I do not know. Yes, I do know. They're going to be like, oh, it's totally fine, and liberals should just praise him. But anyway, yeah, Trump is continuing to express optimism, verging on eagerness about this sit-down. But Trump's words reinforced his decision to send the CIA director, Mike Pompeo, on a secret trip to meet Kim over the Easter weekend. Pompeo, nominated by Trump last month as Secretary of State, played advance man for the president in Pyongyang, laying the groundwork for this planned meeting. Among the potential hurdles for the gathering, Trump said, were 3 American citizens detained in North Korea. The president of the United States was fighting very diligently to obtain their release, and that there was a chance of positive developments. I would hope so. Like, hopefully, I really do hope he can get something out. He can get something out of this that's actually pretty positive, something that he has proven, some kind of proven result, and not just like walk out at the slightest insult, which would be not surprising, very Trumpian, and actually quite annoying if he were to do so, because like there is a big possibility something really productive could actually happen here, believe it or not. So still, Trump conspicuously denied to make their release a precondition of his meeting with Kim, but he also did not demand any new concessions from North Korea beforehand, underscoring how determined he is to make history by convening with the leader of a country he threatened a war with a few months ago. So, yeah, it's really been quite crazy, and it just shows you the kind of contrast between the Trump administration 2 months ago when they were hurtling toward nuclear war. I mean, did they have some kind of like State Department it's going to be something very interesting to find out. The truth really should be found out about this, because it's going to be interesting to see what role Trump and the Trump White House played in this, in negotiating with a possible meeting for North Korea while they were being like, Trump was on Twitter all like, there's going to be war, there's going to be fire and fury and whatnot. So, yeah, in preparing for a planned event, the Trump's decision to dispatch his CIA director reflected at the president's trust and comfort within Pompeo, and how well diplomats and as well as how diplomats were sidelined in brokering what could be a pretty landmark encounter, which got to be frustrating for those people who, I mean, like, they've literally been training their whole lives to do this. And all of a sudden, who does Trump send in? Like, a chubby, war hawk senator who just happened to be propped up to the CIA for a little bit, and now they're going to try and put him as Secretary of State. Like, something is not adding up here. Like, how does Mike Pompeo know how to do this? Like, did he have, like, 10 diplomats on each side to help him? Like, what was the Mike Pompeo delegation going into this? That's my question. It just does not make any sense. Like, something is not adding. Like, how is Mike Pompeo able to put this together with the experience he has and the set of skills he has versus North Korea and the fact that he sidelined many key diplomats? So that's quite interesting. So, yeah. So he is now, as we know, meeting with Shinzo Abe. Trump is. Meeting went very smoothly, and a good relationship was formed, Trump said early morning before he went golfing with Shinzo Abe. So I think that's actually North Korea he's talking about. Not Shinzo Abe, whatever. Details of the summit are being worked out now. Denuclearization will be a great thing for the world, but also for North Korea, believe it or not. So, in a capitalized world, I love that. In this tweet. So Pompeo is still awaiting confirmation from his new post and faces a challenging vote in the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. So he's negotiating peace deals with North Korea right now, and he's having trouble getting out of the committee. Like, something is a little strange here. Like, there's something that's not entirely right. I don't know what it is, but there's a myriad of things about the story that just do not add up. Like, it's just not sensical. Yeah, so, but even as the visit underlines the confidence that Trump has developed in Pompeo, former Tea Party congressman. He's a Tea Party congressman, one of the most group of least diplomatic, most angry people in the Senate. He was very war hawkish. Like, if you look at his views on, like, things like climate change, like LGBTQ people, like it's quite unacceptable that he is even near this position. And there is, it just shows you, like, what in the world is he doing there? It's really quite amazing. Yeah, so he's now emerged one of the president's closest advisors, a stark contrast to Rex Tillerson, whom Trump fired as Secretary of State days after he accepted Kim's invitation to meet. So it also underlines Trump's unorthodox approach to the riskiest diplomatic gambits, one of the riskiest diplomatic gambits of presidential history. However, trusted by the president, Pompeo is hardly a traditional emissary. He is not the nation's chief diplomat, but a lame duck as the nation's spy master. So, like, this is the head of the American spies coming to negotiate diplomatically. It just does not make any sense. Something is not adding up here. Like, this is not how it's supposed to work. But, I mean, if it's successful, then it's successful. But, like, something is not right. Yeah, I guess we'll find out what it is in the coming days, but who knows. Yeah, Pompeo met with Kim on Easter Sunday, senior official said, bringing along several aides from the CIA, but nobody from the State Department or the White House. So nobody's here from the State Department. So he didn't bring 10 diplomats as suggested on either side, as I had suggested before. He brought more spies. Yes, more people from the CIA, more aides from the CIA. Like, what? Like, what? I just don't get it. Yeah, so in 2014, James Clapper, the director of national intelligence, traveled to North Korea to negotiate the release of 2 Americans. 3 Korean Americans, Kim Dong-jul, Kim Sang-duk, and Kim Hak-song, are currently being held on charge of espionage and committing hostile acts toward the North Korean state. The administration has not agreed on a date for the meeting between Trump and Kim, which officials said pointed to problems in settling on a site for the encounter. So, I mean, one of the top spots I do believe right now is Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, but I'm not sure about that. The White House has begun narrowing down a list of options and eliminating sites like Pyongyang and the DMZ, which could pose an optics problem for Trump. Meaning some in the United States remains a possibility, but that could raise similar issues for Kim. The administration is studying third countries, Singapore, Vietnam, and Asia, Sweden, Switzerland, and Europe, though all are far risky from North Korea, posing a challenge to Mr. Kim's fleet of rickety aircraft. Mongolia, which is closer to the north, is a long shot, actually, the official said. So I heard, last night, it was one of the top... it was one of the top spots, but I guess that has changed. I think it's where the north wants, because apparently, according to this New York Times article here, one of the of the obstacles to the potential summit meeting between President Trump and North Korea's leader, just getting there could prove to be the most turbulent. So it looks like he has some aircraft problems, which is kind of funny if you think about it. So all-powerful leader, nuclear weapons, and he cannot build efficient aircraft, which is pretty crazy. So on Tuesday, Trump added to the mystery surrounding the visit, appearing to confirm he had been in direct talks with Kim himself. He later clarified the talks were at the highest levels, so probably him. I mean, unless he's talking about the Pope. I don't know. Yeah, he would leave it a little bit short of that. Mr. Pompeo's involvement with North Korea predated Trump's decision to meet Kim. Several officials said, which is interesting. So maybe, like Pompeo, the spy master here, got this whole thing initiated. He got this whole thing set up, which is, again, very strange, and something he just does not, he's been a Tea Party congressman, spy master, probably the most least positions, and the head of CIA, so the least diplomatic positions you could possibly hold anywhere. So, and now he's negotiating with North Korea. It just does not make any sense. It's very, very strange. All right. We are going to have to move on. All right, so yeah, we now move on to the restaurant industry. They ran a private poll on the minimum wage, and it was one of the nation's most powerful anti-minimum wage lobbying groups that tapped a longtime Republican pollsters to survey the public about a range of issues impacting the industry. A significant chunk of the survey focused on attitudes towards the minimum wage, and many members of the powerful lobby group are not going to like the results at all. So, the poll, which was presented on a slide deck obtained by The Intercept and Documented, which are both news organizations, found that 7 in 10 Americans want to see the minimum wage raised, even if it means they're going to have to pay for more meals. It also pay more for meals. It also found the industry's various talking points against raising the wage were mostly falling flat with the general public. Conducted by GOP pollster Frank Luntz's firm Luntz Global. Luntz Global, baby! Bam! I think I just had to give Frank Luntz a little bit of a shout out there because he's a great dude. So anyway, yeah, so it was on behalf of the NRA. No, not that NRA, the other NRA, the National Restaurant Association. Get your head out of that place. Come on. The poll found at least 71% of people surveyed supports raising the minimum wage to at least $10 an hour. 15 is where I oppose it to. So, yeah, 71% in some way support it. So, which is pretty cool. The highest percentage of people saying totally support with 39%. And the second highest being 18, which was mostly support. So, yeah, the NRA, which did not respond to a request for comment, is the trade association for the massive restaurant industry. It's estimated that restaurant sales reached $799 billion in 2017, up 4.3% over 2016, and boasts 8 years of consecutive growth in revenue for the United States. The restaurant industry in the United States now is larger than 90% of world economies, which is pretty crazy. 90% of world economies, $799 billion in 2017. Senior Vice President of the NRA